was out of state, but then apparently she was trying to move to New Jersey. So I'm not sure if that has happened or not. But anyways, I'm just saying, it would be nice to see more of them, right? And it's possible that Teresa's like, I don't know, my brother is my only living sibling. And maybe she's starting to see some of the red flags with Louie, right? Because, guys, I didn't want to judge him based on the stuff that he did in the past. I didn't want to talk about that. I was just like, I'm just going to look at his behavior on the show. And on the show, at first, if you go back and listen to my podcast, I was not defending him, but I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt when it came to certain situations. And then eventually I was just like, no, sorry, not for me. I don't like the fact that he threw her under the bus like that so many times just to make himself look good. And it looked like, to me, that he was acting, right? So I don't know. Who knows what's going on behind closed doors with these two? Let me know your take on that in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Teresa wanting to send this housewarming present to her brother is like a way for her to extend the olive branch out of the kindness of her heart? Or do you think that Teresa is sensing that something may be wrong further down the line in her current relationship and that she needs her brother? But here's the thing, Teresa. You can't have your brother and not have his wife. You need to make it nice with Melissa. It's like, I don't know why Teresa doesn't want to believe that Melissa wants to make things nice with her. I think she's always wanted that. You know, I'm starting to realize certain things because I used to advocate a lot for Teresa, not on my podcast necessarily, but just, you know, in conversations. I used to see like the positive out of Teresa mostly, right? And I always believed that, yes, Melissa came came on the show without telling Teresa. I always believed that too. But now I'm finding like old tweets. Like when I'm talking old guys, I'm talking about like in the vault, like in the archives. And, you know, Teresa tweeted something at some point back in 2009, I think, or 2008, anyways, before Melissa joined the show, right? Because I think Melissa joined the show in 2010. So I think in 2009, Teresa tweeted something about Gino, Antonia, and Joey. And she basically tweeted about them and tweeted about Melissa and said, I love my sister-in-law, like something like that, right? And I love my nieces and nephew, Antonia, Joey, Gino, blah, blah, blah. And then there was a reply from Melissa saying, wow, why? I don't think we've ever made it on your social media. We never got a shout out from you ever. Why now? Basically, right? So there's that tweet that I found from a long time ago, and it goes on and on for some time, right? Between the two of them. But I thought it was interesting to reread that tweet again, because what it implies is that maybe Teresa knew. Maybe Teresa knew that Melissa was coming on this show. And maybe that's the reason why Teresa was starting to tweet nice things about her sister-in-law and her brother and the kids, because she knew they were coming on and she wanted to make it look like she had a good relationship with her family. Right? Despite what Carlos King said, right? Because I always wanted to believe that too. I was just like, yeah, it seems like she came on the show behind her back. Not that I care anymore because it's so long ago. It's like, okay, even if she did, right? But I don't know. Now I'm thinking maybe Teresa did know. And that's why she was tweeting these nice things about her family when she never had done that before. And if you guys recall, before season 3, we didn't even know Teresa had a brother. Like, I thought Teresa was a lonely child. It's funny. Like, we knew that Caroline had so many siblings. We knew that Jacqueline, well, I don't think Jacqueline has any siblings. Danielle, we knew she was adopted and all of that. You know, Dina was Caroline's sister, right? But we knew nothing about Teresa. We didn't know that Teresa had siblings. Season 1 and season 2. That's why it was such a surprise when joegorga and Melissa, they joined, and it was like, boom, oh, Teresa has a brother? Oh, if she doesn't get along with him too? Like, it was like crazy, right? So, I don't know. Let me know, guys, what you think. I know it's a lot. I've been talking for a lot of times, but let me know. And guys, I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form, in a way that, I want Teresa's marriage to be unsuccessful. That's not what I want. I would love for her marriage to be a successful one, obviously. And I also believe that she deserves a very happy ending. That woman has been through so much and a lot. So I only wish the best for Teresa. But I also wish that, she could get a hold of the situation with her brother and just be done with it. It's like, wouldn't it be nice if they actually made up? I'm not just talking about Teresa and Joe, because Teresa only wants Joe. She doesn't want Melissa. And despite what she has said in the past, she's always said, oh, I want us to all be a family, Melissa too. But I never felt that. Like, it never felt like Teresa ever wanted Melissa. I can't say the same for Melissa. Melissa has tried. She has tried, at least on camera, to be there for Teresa, right? And that's why it made it harder and harder for me over the years to not like her, to continue to not like her. I'm sorry, I should say. Because at first, when Melissa came, I was just like, yeah, I don't know about her, right? I didn't really like her. And I didn't like her up until the end of season 6. Season 6 is when I started liking Melissa, right? Season 7, when Teresa came back, Melissa bent over backwards for Teresa. She really did, and it never really seems like the woman can do anything right by Teresa, and that's hard. And guys, don't underestimate the power. A lot of people like to talk about like a monster mother-in-law. People never talk about the monster sister-in-law, right? Because that happens too. And it's not to say that Teresa is a monster, but there's a certain dynamic sometimes in families, especially European families, not to generalize and just say that they're all like that, but I'm familiar with that, let's just say, right? And what I say is, it's hard as for a woman to get into the family, like let's say a woman like Melissa, to get into the family and to be close with her mother-in-law if the sister-in-law has a problem with it, right? Always remember who's going to have the mother's ear, and that person is Teresa. And it's going to make it extremely difficult for a person like Melissa, even if she was correct or right in an argument, to be right in front of Teresa's parents. It's just never going to happen, right? Because the person who has access to the parents is Teresa, right? And the mom is always going to side with her, even if she's wrong. Right? Even if she's wrong, it's like weird like that. It's like those weird dynamics that exist within European families sometimes, right? And now I'm realizing more and more that certain things that Melissa said were true in the beginning, but we didn't want to believe it because we were just like, we love Teresa. So we're just like, no, she has to be lying, right? But more and more you're seeing in Teresa's character that Teresa doesn't always tell the truth, and that Teresa mostly cares about showing people that she's doing the right thing rather than actually doing the right thing, right? The keeping appearances is more important to Teresa, right, than actually doing the right thing. And you can see that just for like things that are very silly, right? Just like on the after show, Teresa, she goes on the defense and says, my brother smokes weed all the time. You know that episode after, like, the guys, they try Frank Catania's stuff, and then Joe says he doesn't smoke because he sees snakes. So then Teresa, she wasn't even there, but she proceeded to throw Joe under the bus and says, that's not true. He smokes all the time. I've seen him smoke, the vape pen with Melissa's family. So boom, like she kills two birds with one stone. She's like, not only Joe, but with Melissa. Of course, it has to be with Melissa's family. And then she's like, when my brother says, oh, he doesn't smoke, that's not true. That's something that I don't do. I don't smoke, right? That's what Teresa said. And then in the next confessional, you see Danielle with Jen because they were doing their interviews together. And then Danielle Cabral asked Jen Aiden, because we all know that Jen is a pothead, like she smokes and all of that stuff. And she admits to it, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's her choice. And Danielle basically says to, she asked Jennifer, I wonder, how is Teresa when she smokes weed? Like, how is she under like the influence when she's high, right? So then Jen responds, oh, she's so funny. She's so funny. She's actually so funny when she's high. That was Jenny Den's, Teresa's good friend's response, right? So which one is it? I tend to believe what Jen is saying. Like, I tend to believe that Jen was telling the truth, that Jen has smoked with Teresa a few times. And what would be the big deal if she did, right? Apparently Louie, I've heard that Louie smokes pot too, right? So I don't know, it's possible. Like, I don't know, like if it's true or not. I haven't seen him on TV. It's alleged, obviously, but some people have alleged that he smokes marijuana. So, what's the big deal if Teresa does too, right? I find that kind of odd. But you see, she doesn't like to let her mask, slip. She always has to keep up with the appearances, Teresa, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she was doing right now with Louie. And a lot of people like to say all the time that Teresa is an idiot or she's stupid or she's dumb. I do not believe that Teresa is dumb. And I've always said this, okay? I don't believe that Teresa is dumb at all. I think she has a problem communicating, but I don't think she's dumb, and just because she speaks a certain way doesn't make her stupid, right? She sees reality a bit different than most people. But I don't necessarily think that she's stupid or dumb. I just think that Teresa needs to work on herself. There's something that happened to Teresa. I don't know what it is. It could be minuscule. But something happened to Teresa, and she's kind of stuck. It's almost like her emotional maturity has not evolved past a certain age. And that's the reason why she reacts the way she reacts sometimes. So I just wonder what that was, right? There's something that happened to her in her life at some point in time that leads her to behave in the way